Alright, so I'm hearing from the others in that we are good to go for the next run. So, Bradderfield, running Mega Man 6. Go ahead and take it away.
Hello, Speedromizer. How's everybody doing? My name is Bradderfield, and this is Rockman 6. Any percent. How's it going? I'm also joined with the original submitter for this run, Tempest Mass 1000. How you doing today?
Hello, friends and fellow gamers. I'm doing wonderful, Brad, and I gotta say, it's gonna be a fun time commentating for your run. I am looking forward to seeing what you did with my submission.
Thank you, thank you. It was a really weird twist of fate. We'll probably talk about it throughout the run. I submitted a Mega Man game and then landed on Tempest's Mega Man game. I know this is about finding something new, but in a way, it is. It is. But yeah, I'm all set. This will count it down here in 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, so the first thing that you need to know about Mega Man 6 as compared to the other NES Mega Man games is that there's a slight mechanical difference here in how Mega Man slides. Particularly, he cannot jump out of his slide unlike Mega Man's 5 and previously. So in this case, whenever Brad is trying to get out of a slide, he'll need to do so by either pressing the jump button, which will stop Mega Man instead, or turn around and then he can immediately jump by pressing the next jump input. So that is the biggest difference known with Mega Man 6 as compared to the other titles. Another thing to mention is that, like with Mega Man 5 prior, the charge shot will get its charge interrupted the moment Mega Man takes damage, just like that. So the charge shot is still pretty powerful as can be, kind of like the previous Mega Man 5. I think they may have toned it down just a tad, because I know it was like really busted in 5. But yeah, no, the trade-off is still very much there, but it's still going to be a very helpful tool for just taking down enemies as need be. Now, Brad is going with the usual route that most people go with, that being what we call Wind First. We also have a couple of alternatives in Night First and Flame First. And as the name implies, we're just going after the Robot Master that the route name usually involves. Now, the reason we like to go for Windman is because his weakness is actually a screen-clearing weapon that we have to get from Centaur Man. And so, getting Windman out of the way is generally a simple enough fight as you'll see him do, because what Brad is going to want out of him is Windman's general pattern either involves shooting a pair of propeller blades that they basically weave in and out, kind of like a DNA pattern, but it's very easy to dodge. Otherwise, he tries to pull you in with his shoulder fans, and yeah, as long as he just slides out of it, it's really nothing to it. So we usually like to call this the wind dance when you're just trying to juke him out and basically no damage this fight, which is pretty easy to do. Nicely done, man.
Thank you. Yeah, with the animation cancel being the only Mega Man that does this, I was very intimidated by it at first, but started to treat it as an animation cancel. I like to parry things in other games. I like to do animation cancels. You love that as a speedrunner, to be able to just do the next thing you want to do. And yeah, it started to grow on me, this mechanic, this unique way of doing it. So yeah, it's very challenging. That's probably one of my best Windmans there. We're off to a great start.
Yeah. The thing about Mega Man 6 is that the reason I submitted it for Speedromizer 4 is this is actually the first main classic game I ever learned. So the reason that I feel so connected to this is that back in 2020 and a little further in, that can get you from time to time.
A fun thing, this game likes to eat your jump.
Yep, exactly. It's that can happen to anyone. Like, no shame if it happens to you, just be prepared for any possibility. And also, I should quickly explain that here in Flame Man stage, those oil pits will remain lit on fire once they get lit on fire, and as you saw, it turns into an instant kill hazard, so we gotta be very, very considerate of that. Alright, let's see what happens here really quick, though. Okay, good. You did not get sniped. We like to call the second... Whatever those enemies are called in this room, we like to call the second one Roland, and he usually likes to be a bit of a scumbag, try to snipe you out of your jump. It's happened to a lot of folks, including my friend Papat.1 on his run for GDQ. It's, yeah... I usually like to memorize names that we give to specific enemies within specific places, kind of like Squeaks the Mouse in, I believe it was Stone Man's stage in Mega Man 5. But yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, this was the first classic game I ended up learning because the community did weekly races, and I just figured since I was getting started with speedrunning in general, with my first game being Mega Man Extreme 2, it seemed like a good thing to pick up because I had the company of these other runners, these professional folks, like Mr. Cab, Conster, and all of them, and it was just very... just a joy to get used to, like, trying to keep going again and again. And yeah, my time definitely got a little bit better, but let me tell you, Brad here, he's got my time beat. He's got my best beat, like, by 4 minutes. So he's been really cooking, and I'm very happy for it, too. But right now we gotta talk about Flame Man, because it's another simple fight, and yeah, that weakness of his, the Windstorm, it's a tornado shot that arcs down onto the ground and chases after it. It's a little bit unique in that if an enemy is destroyed by it, instead of exploding, they actually get flung beyond the ceiling of the room, kind of like a cartoon character. It's pretty funny. And yeah, basically go up. I mean, it's wind. It's what it does. It pushes. It makes you ascend, so to speak. But yeah, Flame Man though, he just tries to shoot you with a fire shot, and then he uses the little ground flame wave, a little bit akin to Wave Man from Mega Man 5, if you will.
He's usually very jumpy, but he was pretty kind to actually use his fire moves on me. That was good.
Absolutely, yeah. You do not see that a whole lot. Sometimes he's not so kind. Now we've moved on to our obligatory ice stage, this being Blizzard Man. Mega Man, as a series, has a habit of jumping back and forth between whether the fire robot is weak to ice and the ice robot is weak to fire. It's clearly a case of the latter, but sometimes if you're starting off as sort of a beginner run, something that you can totally see yourself doing is... Brad completely ignored these, but there are these ice walls that you can melt with Flame Man's weapon, and behind one of them was an E-Tank. E-Tanks are always pretty nice in that you go into the pause menu and it fully recovers your health. However, this does waste a little bit of time in doing so because you have to wait for the entire... Ooh, nice safety life there. It makes you have to wait for the entire animation.
Oh, use it right there.
Well, there you go.
I landed on the safety railing that was not valid ground for the submarine here.
Yeah. It's a pretty daunting section. But yeah, as the game ingloriously interrupted me, you have to wait for the entire E-Tank animation to play out. That's just the only trade-off of going for it, but it's still very good safety.
Alright.
Alright, so... I assume you're not going to go for it.
Yeah, there's a subpixel trick coming up that I am not going to do because while I have practiced it, I still don't fully understand it. Cannot get it consistently. It only saves 6 seconds.
No one can.
But there's also a subpixel in the first gap all the way to the left, and I've jumped out of that pit while practicing. So it's like there's subpixels, secret, non-existent platforms, just like Mario Bros. Dimensions. We just had... on the previous run, there's like alternate dimension platforms that only exist for limited time only. Oh, we got this
basically. Oh,
got the left
there's a
side
Blizzard Man.
He's gonna walk into me. That's nice.
He's being nice so far. Okay, not too bad. Just like a single roll, I'll get my butter, and that'll be a nice little supplement to my breakfast tomorrow.
Pretty good. Okay.
Okay. Standard affair with classic Mega Man games, Brad wants to keep Mega as close to the center as possible to avoid the animation of him walking into the center, and it just gets him going with the grab as soon as possible. Most importantly, with the Blizzard Man fight, we do not want to see him roll, if, like, as least as possible, if at all, because in the middle of his rolling animation, he's completely invincible, and it can easily waste some of your flame shots just like that.
Yeah, that was a really good pattern. He gave me lots of snowflakes and started off with the snowflake attack, which means I could start on the right side of the screen, and any of his rolls would have been super short.
Yeah, I didn't really realize that. Admittedly, you just taught me something new.
we gotta both just thank Darkterix for the speedrun guide. I have been studying that in my free time, what little free time I had for learning this. Oh, what does Eddie have for me? His health.
Yeah, Darkterix is very good. Actually, I thought that was weapon ammo just now, wasn't it?
It was something. It wasn't an E-tank. I would go back for an E-tank. There's a few like random E-tanks one I would like hope for a couple of fights that kind of need it still for me, including the X4 stage and maybe hopefully not X2, but definitely one. I need one for Wily. That's all I know. Wily.
Yeah, it's definitely a must, considering that, of course, Wily brings the most phases to any fight, and losing to one of them would definitely put you all the way back to start. So this is the worst room of the level, by the way. This is Plant Man stage, and this can be a bit of a gatekeeper to beginners for multiple reasons. Now, the gorillas, gorilla tanks are not too bad themselves. It's this portion that I just despise the most, and, well, it's those fish.
Yeah,
you gotta be careful. You gotta be very considerate of how they jump out at you, because if they so much as clip you, you're going in the water and you're dying instantly.
Yeah. A lot of death and game over when learning this game. Ooh.
Oh man, I didn't even think of that possibility.
Right there. Okay, so that could have been horrible, but we made it through. I just played a little extra safe there. I'd spend maybe 20-30 minutes on this stage when first learning it.
Alright, so...
Plant Man is silly. Go ahead.
Yeah, very silly. I see you're going for Buster only, though. Oh, no. Okay, you're now going for the Blizzard. Gotcha. I was like, is this man going to do something?
Get, like, double hits here. Never mind. There we go. So you're good. Right up close. Gotta shoot behind me. The Blizzard Flakes do show up behind me first. And I'll just let Plant Man walk into his own demise there. And, yeah, sometimes I can get a double hit, because he'll walk up to you before using the barrier, and then he'll kind of be open for a second attack there. So there was a manip that's possible where he can run around and not use the barrier for a while, which would make things a little bit faster. It's a trick I've never gotten or could quite get to happen in practice. But double hits is a good backup right there. It's time for Tomahawk stage.
I'd say this is my personal favorite of the Robot Masters.
Good music and a really cool level, and there's these Coltons, which are like revolver cowboy buster guys. Kind of silly.
You just eat your last haw, partner.
Yeah, something to that effect. Family.
You know, I've never really done that with this game before until now, huh? Okay, so we got these Met dispensers, and we usually like to use Flame Man's weapon to buster these down, or... Okay, I guess he's shooting it out of the buster, so I'm not necessarily incorrect when I say that. But it's just the sometimes laborious task of just aiming it right, because you noticed that the weak point was the dispenser nozzle itself as compared to the main body, so, well, yeah, just be mindful of that, and you should be able to handle it no problem. And we will be seeing that particular mid-boss make a reappearance, like, in the late game, but, it's neither here nor there for now.
Everyone liked the Gasha machine when, playing this. It's a Gashapon, yeah. A lot of cute enemy designs in Mega Man, just as a whole. Like, look at that, that's so silly.
I know, right? And the Mets are just some of the most iconic enemies of the franchise, bar none. They always have a tendency to show up regardless of what year it is. If it's like it's like 25 something or whatever in Mega Man ZX, these things still very much exist. It's Mega Man X 21st, it's like 2021 something. I mean, they're still there. I always thought that these were the contraptions of Dr. Wily, technically, but I guess not. They were probably more general safety bots, kind of like Tron Bond's serve bots or something like that. But yeah, we'll see. Look, I guess that'll be something to look up one of these days. Let's at least talk about the Tomahawk Man fight, because this requires a little bit of concentration, considering that the plant barrier, that being his weakness, it's an exact ammo fight. And these are ones that we Mega Man runners don't usually like to deal with. Ooh, yeah, just like that. So, it was due to the fact that Tomahawk Man still had iframes going in which the plant barrier got eaten. And, yeah, he only had as many shots as it took to defeat him with the plant barrier. So one mistake and you gotta switch back to Buster.
There are 2 Robot Masters with exact ammo fights for their weakness.
Yes, indeed.
The other one is Windman with Centaur Flash being also. So when I use that weapon, I will be calling for like a flashing lights warning because it's bad. It's the reason I don't want Mega Man the power battle, because the weaknesses are all flashing lights every time you hit the enemy.
Not sure what Capcom was thinking when they made that design choice, really.
It was the 90s. There's a lot of design choice problems even in the 90s. Here we go. Yamato stage. Yamato Man stage is cool. Those are like little Tanuki enemies or something. And then there's these, they're called Benkei, and they're literally designed after, like, the warrior monks, the Benkei, in the, like, Warring States era of Japan, so it's kind of fascinating.
I like Benkei. That's a cool factoid. It's just a cool name as well, in general. Fun fact, I usually like to take the bottom route. There are a couple of alternate... Yeah, there's a
Metal Gear jump scare?
Well,
it's a Metal...
I forgot about that guy.
That's why it's a Metal Gear jump scare. I was forgetting about him for a while, too. He just shows up and it's a big walker. It's the only time we see him.
I guess that's the equivalent to the gecko. Huh. Yeah, from Metal Gear Solid 4. But, as I was about to say, alternative routes, those are always a thing in Mega Man games, but what makes this interesting with Mega Man 6 is you'll notice there are 2 possible boss gates that Brad can enter, and he's actually going for the top one here. Now, certain boss gates, if you choose the one that the game doesn't normally expect you to go through, by exiting it, you will then fight the boss and get a beat part. And like with Mega Man 5, once you collect all the letters, you will get Beat the Bird as a extra weapon. He's not as useful as he was in Mega Man 5, sadly, but he's still very much necessary if you do want to run the game at 100%, which there's also another bonus that does appear in Tomahawk Man's stage. You notice Brad skip that little section with the spike pit and that breakable block that he could have used the Rush Power Armor to get rid of. If he went through that, he would have entered a room where we would have had our one and only cameo from Big Brother Proto Man in this game, and he gives us the Energy Balancer, which originated from the Mega Man Game Boy games, the classic Game Boy Mega Man games. Particularly, it started in Mega Man 4, if I'm not mistaken, and this was the first game to officially implement it into the classic series, and it's been a bit of a staple since, because the idea behind that pickup is when you get a weapon refill, if your weapon already has full ammo, or if you're just Buster Mega Man, it'll go straight to the first weapon that it can find that is in need of a refill, and it's really convenient. But it can also be I guess it can also be a little inconvenient as well.
That's all 100% stuff and some other trivia. This, man, it's really tricky.
Yeah.
This Nightman stage section here. I want to get under the spikes and make this very tight jump. I ended up having a jump that was too short. I'm gonna walk over, get over here, and 2, 3, pause. That looks like certain death. But we can just use the menu and it resets Mega Man's iframes for a bit. Pretty cool.
I totally forgot about that trick. I just waited out, but I'm like, man, you just reawoken something that I should have remembered. Whoops.
Memory unlock.
Exactly, nah. See, maybe I'm just the one that's turning into Old Snake at this point.
Oh no.
That'll be the day. So, Nightman's stage. This is actually a cool little fun fact here. if you've already beaten Nightman and re-enter the stage, the sky turns orange. This is one of those stages that actually can have an alternative color palette to it upon a revisit, and it's a really nice little thing. It's something we sadly don't get to see, obviously, because there's really no reason to make revisits. Mega Man Classic games were usually good about not requiring you to, like, return to a stage in order to get anything that you missed if you were trying to get a completion run going, but yeah, no, if you just suddenly decide, oh hey, maybe I should go back to here, or maybe you need to claim the beat letter, which I do believe you can still get those even if you beat the boss in the normal boss gate, then yeah, I think it just requires you to go to the secondary boss gate, and then you'll teleport out, and then you'll get the letter, something like that.
Yeah, I wonder.
So, Nightman, we gotta use the Yamato Spear on him.
Yeah. Thankfully, he's just attacking. And that was
nice.
Like,
he stayed
really good
grounded. That's good. That's very good RNG. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you, Nightman, for just attacking.
Yeah.
He could reach.
So,
he'll throw all the way to where you are, no matter what horizontal position. I thought he had limited range for him to jump to get closer, but he'll just throw. Actually, the closer you are, the closer his mace, like his Night Crush weapon is, and then he'll reset faster. So you kind of don't want that.
No. He's basically like, what's the word? Wile E. Coyote on a Blood Moon, I guess.
Yeah, here's Centaur Man. There's a miracle jump trick. I have gotten it in runs in practice, but it doesn't save enough time to go for in a marathon. And I've encountered the glitch that this game has with certain gaps, altering your jump height to be like ridiculously high, and it's into certain hazards. And yeah, that little enemy right there is a nice little treat from the developers, saying you need to know that this enemy is coming. We have to shoot before it shows up to hit it on the way down. And we have this underwater section here.
Where it even comes from, we never know. Oh yeah, and here's a nice little throwback to Bubble Man from Mega Man 2. Spikes on the ceiling in a water level. Yeah, my favorite. Can you tell I'm being sarcastic? I think I'm being sarcastic.
Hoping to get this trick to happen. Well... Yeah, right here.
Yeah, you were close.
Reverse damage boost over here on the spikes. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. And get rid of one enemy here. I'm going to take some health. Did not charge enough. It's fine.
Yeah, those particular enemies require either a fully charged shot or a charged shot from the POW armor in order to topple them over, which we haven't even explained that, actually. So you might have noticed that Brad was changing into something that's not necessarily the traditional Rush Coil or Rush Jet. Rather, Rush's power-ups are this special little armor suit that fuses with Mega Man. It's a really cool ability. It's something that actually does get revisited in the next game, Mega Man 7. And the power suit particularly is all about short-ranged attacks, but it has this heavy energy to it that you can destroy the cracked blocks with, and then you can also push back some enemies. It's also usable on bosses that way. It's kind of fun. And then the Rush Jet, well, you basically got a jetpack hover. It's neat and all, but it can also only go so high, much to the point that if you want the highest altitude possible, then you're going to want to start from higher starting ground, if you get my drift.
Really
Alright, let's see what happens
for
here.
Centaur.
Yes,
He
no
did not
flashes.
teleport. Yeah, no time stop, no teleport. He just ran. That's good. That's a really good pattern.
I forgot to do the Centaur Man song. Mr. Cab is going to be disappointed in me.
Oh no, there's a song? I have not done a research of Mega Man 6.
It's just to the main stage tune. It's nothing too fancy.
Oh, you know, I can almost hear it now. Alright. Well, here comes Mr. X stages. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, last thing to note about the Rush Armors, though, both of them do come at the cost of robbing you of your slides, so if you want to start sliding again, you have to go all the way into the pause menu to get out of it. And, well, There is one exception to a game that does take away this inconvenience, this one particular version of Mega Man 6. If you're familiar with the Rockman Complete Works for the Japanese PlayStation, or if you're familiar with all of those versions getting ported to the Mega Man Anniversary Collection here in North America, then yeah, you could use something like the C-Stick to, if you're playing on GameCube, to change on the fly between your Rush forms and your base Mega form. Ooh, okay.
That fell through. It's okay.
That's not the worst case scenario, because it could easily go south, just those spikes on the ceiling, just... Yeah. There's a very tight jump trick that you can do with that. Like, you can make it even tighter, and I think it only saves like a fraction of a second. So
30 frames.
Yeah, I actually pulled it off once, and I remember surprising my commentator with that.
Yeah, didn't happen here. It's been happening in runs. That's how I always go for it. The little hop under the spikes. That's what happened. I got the wall, but the platform, I didn't wait just long enough for the, Whoops, I'm menuing poorly. Here we go, but yeah, we're at the boss. We made it pretty well.
Here's the rounder fight. We've got two of them, and these guys have some rather funky hitboxes. You gotta hit them from the side. The Flame Burst is their weakness. You saw Brad do a nice little thing at the start by getting a nice little setup on the wall, just getting a little continual damage with these guys. And yeah, you just gotta destroy the both of them. The boss fight's over. The Wily stages, though, like with Mega Man games before it, at this point Brad is going to have to be mindful of his weapon ammo because it will not recover at the start of a new stage, so it's at this point that trying to make use of some weapon refills can and will come in handy. Now this second Mr. X stage, this is going to be... I mean, I'd argue this is the easiest Mr. X stage of the game. It's mostly just about jumping over spikes or flying over spikes and trying not to fall, but it's also got these false platforms. If you see a little graded area under a piece of what otherwise looks like ground, Mega Man's just going to fall through it. It's practically similar to that of what was on the... oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, I hadn't had that happen in a while. Oh, baby. But
the one trying to give us a little bit of drama here.
Halloween's over. Don't scare me like that.
It's only 2 days after Day of the Dead.
That too. Here we go. We're almost to the boss. A couple more mets. I want to, not use too much Tomahawk, because not only do I need it for this boss, I need to be able to refill it for Wily and Nightman before that. I mean, Yamato before that. But yeah, this boss kind of needs... Okay, we're all the way at the end. I do have some visual spots where I try to stand for getting this. Some good hits. If it moves closer, I need to move down. I think I can live one pellet shot, but not a rock hit. Yeah, there we go. Pellets do 1, but the rocks do 3 damage. And I don't think I've picked up a single E-Tank yet. Eddie never gave me one, and I have not gone out of my way for them. But there's a few in this stages coming up that I will pick up. I think there's one beneath me in X3 here, but I don't go for it.
You're doing a pretty good job, all things considered. Like, despite no E-Tanks so far, you've managed to survive most things that probably could have otherwise killed me if I was the one behind the controller. Like, I have a tendency to panic a little too much. It's just...
so there's one right there, but you'd have to go down and back again.
Yeah, it's just not worth it, sadly. There will be one, though, in X4.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you go ahead with this one.
Yeah, this is a Jetman stage. I call it Jetman for Jet Ranger. But yeah, whoa, okay. That was close. After this, go back to... We're swapping between normal Buster and then Jet again. There's just this little slide section that's a lot faster as normal Mega Man. A couple screens of normal, then back to Jet. And then this one ends with... Matonger Z. Well, I call him Matonger Z, but it's Matonger. A super Met, piloted by a little baby Met. And it's like a giant tank with arms and stuff. It's really great.
Sadly, the arms do, like, nothing in the fight. I wish they did, though.
I'm gonna stagger some jet here, oh baby. And then try to make it over here. I do need this health. And
yeah,
then,
I never usually try to do that little stagger trick. I just go for the power suit just to take it a little safely, because anything can be very dangerous.
Yeah. X3 is my bane right here, yeah. It's that one. This is one that I needed to practice a little bit today before. Look at Matonger! It's... this head. This whole tank makes up what looks like the head of Mazinger, a classic, like, 70s or 80s mech anime from Japan. Like, this is a mecha reference. This is a anime reference in my Mega Man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Capcom was definitely no stranger to a little pop culture here and there. We're actually gonna come across a... well, I'll save my fact for later.
You could use, it's fast to go with POW Suit for this, the power adapter, or Blizzard Man, but you use all of Blizzard on Matonger. So I use Buster, so it's still a decently quick fight. It's not as risky as POW, and then I still have my ammo. So it's kind of like a little tribute to, Kame Sennin is a well-known classic Buster-only speedrunner. So I was like, I want to pick up some Buster-only strats. Plus my hat is subtly a Kame... Master Roshi kind of reference. And it's like, hey, it looks like I trained under you now.
Yeah. Big shout out to Kame. What Brad just said is no lie whatsoever. This man actually went out of his way to perform the Triple M challenge with Buster only. And Triple M, for those unaware, you play the entire Mega Man series, from the classic games, to the X games, to the Zero games. You have to do Mega Man 1 to 11, plus Rockman and Forte, Mega Man X1 to X8, and 01 to 04. It is not easy as it sounds. And just the additional stipulation of Buster only, just think about that.
Some games
man basically made history.
Yeah. I've seen him have to reset on Mega Man 1 because, like, one of the platform sections in one of the Wily Castle stages, the platforms move randomly over spikes instead of with a set pattern, and so it was just impossible to get across because they kept hovering near the spikes, and it's like, this is just bad design, but meh. I will have to use
Mega Man 1 was very much an experiment, and it only got better as time went on.
Yeah. Oh, there's the...
Ooh,
didn't make that jump. So there goes the retake. Ooh. So, yeah, this is one of the rougher sections platforming-wise. It's one of the harder... Those jumps are really tricky, and then they have tough enemies here with lots of HP. I was using Night Crusher to at least make them 2 shots, but then I'm low on the ammo there. That is gonna make things really dangerous here. I'm feeling all of these near-death experiences. But yeah, a lot of attempts here. Don't give in at all. Getting close to the end of these next stages. So those damage boosts are scary, but I can make them. And I'm gonna do one more. I need one more damage boost here just to make sure this jump is feasible. All right.
All right.
This is Bowser time.
Bowser time. There you go. Yeah. So we're gonna now face Mr. X himself. The plot of the game is that after Wily's defeat in Mega Man 5, it turns out that there's a robot fighting tournament going on, and then all of the combatants' robots start to go haywire. So the tournament organizer, Mr. X, suddenly reveals himself to be the man that was the boss behind Dr. Wily this whole time and has been pulling the strings. However, oh gosh, his plan has failed, but he's not done yet, for he was Dr. Wily this whole time. Who would have seen that coming? So, yeah, like with the later half of the NES Mega Man Classic games, we have 2 fortresses. And now we move into the Wily Fortress. There aren't going to be as many major bosses per se, as the 3rd of the Wily stages will feature the traditional boss rush, and then the 4th Wily stage will be the shortest of the game by far. So, it's all a matter of just trying to get used to what these first 2 stages have to offer, and then, as long as you've managed that, you're basically home free, but do also be mindful of your weapon resources, because, yeah, like with the X Fortress, they are not quite refilled yet.
Yeah, no refills all the way throughout. You get 4 lives, so it's even slower to, like, intentionally game over for the extra stuff. Oh, I forgot which screen I was on.
Yeah, no, it's
That's
one
okay.
more.
Look, I'm 1-up. So
You've got a lot of lives.
Yeah, so it would take a while to game over, even intentionally, to get ammo refilled, and so it's mostly about knowing where some pickups are, making the most of those, and continuing on with just staying topped off on the weapons you need. I know for the final fight, Silver Tomahawk needs to be full, and if not, it can use some Night Crusher, but it's a matter of, yeah, trying to have both of those weapons close to full for the final showdown. Okay, booster on, let's go, make it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, if you are not holding A before the screen transitions, you're guaranteed not to make it. That is from Dark Terex, the man himself.
Yeah, big shout out to Terex. Yeah, that whole guide is just, again, just one of the best things that you could ever have to just try and learn this game in terms of the speedrun itself. And Terex himself is just a top-notch runner of Mega Man 6. He actually... I would highly recommend you folks to also check out his co-op with Papat Dot or wait, actually, oh gosh, was it Papat Dot? Oh, I think it was. Why am I forgetting all of a sudden? But basically, he did a 2-player, 1-controller run of this game with Papat, and it was phenomenal. You all owe it to yourself to check it out.
That was at SGDQ 2023.
That is correct.
That's where I also discovered something in, that's super cool. I discovered something cool for my game, Mega Man 2, The Power Fighters, while practicing in the practice room for SGDQ 2023. There's just a lot of good memories from both, like, being there and seeing the awesome runners, meeting some of the classic Mega Man speedrun community, and, this Speedromizer came afterwards. Like, I didn't know I was going to be running 6 after meeting some of the legendary 6 runners. So this is a very, like, fun coincidence. Also, here's one of my favorite mini-boss designs. This boss here is one of my favorite designs, but least favorite fights, because the hitbox is really inconsistent. I got more hits than I thought I would, but I don't know what it is with this dinosaur. Like, you hit him in the face, but sometimes it just doesn't count. And it'll tink off like it's blocked. And it's like, I've hit you there before, you took damage there before, this doesn't add up. It's very suspicious with that hitbox. It's kind of, it almost feels random. I don't know. I did a few attempts, and I've actually ran out of ammo today, practicing. Trying to fight that boss. And I use like 1 or 2 shots, so I attempt to hit it very carefully.
My personal favorite thing about that boss, though, is that you can use the power armor, and using the charge shot, you can hit the little platforms that it shoots out at you, and while it does only deal 1 damage, it's still damage dealt to the thing, and it's just the funniest thing ever. Nice.
Nailed that. So that's cool.
Normally, that's the only Yoku blocks in the game, by the way.
Yeah, one of the only few ice block thingies that I interact with.
But also just the traditional disappearing Yoku blocks being reserved to the walls, and just... That's it. That's the entire existence of them in this entire game.
Oh yeah, those are Yoku blocks. I just totally don't acknowledge them. I ate that during...
Oh, just when it looked like it was good too.
These are the brain break enemy. It doesn't matter what you hit them with. If it's a charge shot, or a flame burst, or an entire nuclear bomb. They'll take one hit, and then they'll get mad at you, and then they'll take another hit. So you just use lemons there. I always forget which boss this is.
That's why I always called it the Mad Nerd, and it's also a shout-out to Papatot, because that's the profile picture he uses.
Yeah! I remembered what boss this was by forgetting which boss this was. It's that kind of memory. Also, the cannonballs that it shoots out, I can send them up with the tornado. So Wind Tornado, very funny weapon here. The weakness and the utility, pretty good.
Not sure what Dr. Wily was thinking when he designed this thing, though. It's practically useless. It's the easiest boss of the game, bar none.
When you know the strat, yeah. When you don't know and it's just coming at you, it's scary and terrifying and impossible.
You know
what?
No, I will give you that, yeah.
That's how I felt. Okay, we got fans that are pulling us in. I'm gonna grab this energy for good old Tomahawk there. And yeah, see, my main goal here is like trying to keep some weapons top off. This is gonna go to Flame Blast. And there's some health there, but you know, we're gonna hope for the best. Go into this room here, and then
yeah, I don't disagree with that decision. It's the boss rush after all, and like with most Mega Man games, once you've defeated or refought Robot Master, it'll give you a little bit of health anyway. So yeah, we're gonna enter the boss refights now, and just a quick note. Once we get into Windman's chamber, we're going to call for a flashing warning, because this is where we do need to utilize the Centaur Flash.
Yeah. This one's going to
Otherwise, it's weakness order as per usual, so back to Blizzard Man we go. And yep, that's 1 roll, 2 rolls, 3. Oh man, he wants to be a baker today.
Nice, alright.
Just enough.
Game. Yeah. I usually just go into the room and go, oh yeah, it's this boss. Then I switch weapons. There are some sections in the main capsule room where you get some slow loading because of reasons with the memory of the game. So it's okay to swap inside. Doesn't matter. It's going to be the same menu. And there's a nice damageless Flame Man. It's good to be on full health here because, you know, it's Tomahawk Man, very dangerous, very strong. And he already attacked, and I paused a little late. Okay, I dodged. Alright. Okay, we're taking hits here. This is the boss refight, so, you know, we'll call for the flashing lights warning, and then if there's anything to read, so I think this is Centaur.
No, this is Windman. So flashing lights warning, folks. Avert your eyes if you are a little bit prone to flashing lights like this.
Yeah. And yeah, if there's anything to read, take it away, host.
Alright, thank you so much. And yes, we actually do have 34 cents Canadian from Holy Hadoken with a comment.
Oh yeah. And if there's anything you'd like to say about the game or...
I guess we have $27.34 Canadian from Holy Hadoken with a comment, the wind man. So thank you so much, Holy Hadoken.
Nice.
Thank you. I know who that is. Thank you very much. So unfortunately, this has to be a Buster only fight, and I'm getting some really mean shenanigans from Centaur Man. Lots of time stops, and unlike Bright Man from I think 3 or 4. You can't manipulate the health. If you're, like, thinking about that strategy, it doesn't apply here. It doesn't care about that. It's random. But, okay, we made it through. Got some heals. Keep on going.
Yeah, Mega Man 4 had some interesting bosses, alright.
Here we go. It's Nightmare. Alright. Yamato Spear. He's just walking at me. There he jumps. Now he's jumping. There we go. There's the jumpy boy I know. Okay, very nice.
I just had a strange thought. Dark Knight Man. It just be Batman.
You do look like the Dark Knight when you use Knight's Crusher. I get it. Took me a sec. Because you get like the blue and grays. It's very Cape
Yeah.
Crusader.
Exactly. Like, at least the animated series, anyhow. Or, actually, Brave and the Bold. Yeah, that's a bit more like it.
Right.
That was a good show.
Good double hits on Plant Man. I always forget who's last because it's Yamato and I'm on Blizzard and my brain. And then, yeah, time to use some Silver Tea, but very conservatively. I don't want to. My jump was eaten, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, I don't want to waste ammo like that. Because there's one refill in the next room, and I'm very likely to just miss it. And I have no Night Crusher, but I have 2 E-Tanks. So we can do this. We can do this.
I believe,
I didn't
man. I
realize.
believe.
We are cruising.
Yeah, that can happen when you're schmoovin'.
I didn't even realize we're here. We are here. So I like to hold A during the screen treasures. Try to land here. I'm gonna get shot unless. Get to Silver Tea. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, yeah, I just wanted to get the ammo with the right weapon. I've just eaten it with Jet and, like, got nothing from it, so it's rough, buddy, but we're here.
Yeah. Now, if there were some Flame Man to be had, that's something you can use for this final Met Dispenser. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's back. Like I, sort of foreshadowed in, Tomahawk Man stage. Not sure why, but it just is. So, congratulations, you're the only mini-boss that makes a reappearance in a Wily Castle in this entire game.
Right here at the end. What do we get from Eddie? It's a one-up. Wow, nice. I would have loved... Last night, he gave me an energy refill, and I needed it because I missed the one on top when I just got.
Yeah.
So it was very clutch.
Most
Eddie
people
once-
usually try to skip Eddie, but Brad and I, Eddie's the homeboy. We give him a chance.
Oh, I don't give him a chance in Power Fighters, no. No respect
Oh, well,
for Eddie
okay,
in Power Fighters.
except for that, yeah. That's true.
He
So,
doesn't-
Wily
yeah.
Fight. 3 phases to
Good.
be had here, and yeah, you're pretty low on health. So now we're moving into the second one, and yeah, all 3 of them are basically weak to Silver Tomahawk, so this is why we've been trying to save up. And, by the way, this is my absolute favorite Dr. Wily final boss theme within the classic NES games. It's just a banger. Okay,
Yeah.
coming up to the capsule phase, time will be on the final hit.
And
And there's a trick that you can do. You can supposedly get a ghost hit. It's a trick that I kind of forgot about, so I'm not going to explain it.
Time! That is the
Nicely
final hit.
done.
Ooh, baby. That is Mega Man 6 any percent. Oh, wow.
Congratulations. Awesome run.
Yeah, it's very, I would say, being this my first, like, actual Mega Man game, I say that because I run a spin-off and a DOS game, let's be real.
Yeah.
This was my first, and it's very technical, but then once I started to realize how technical it was, I started to, start to appreciate how, like, challenging and, like, the sliding and the cancel and some of the skips from it, and putting Wily in prison again. All these really cool things that that made me just get attached to this. And yeah, I love the Rush adapters. Like, they're a cool concept. I have some rough spots here with some bosses that, they're not programmed the best, or maybe they're not very fair or just mean. But this is a really good game. It really took me by surprise, because it's something I skipped when I played, like, the collections in the past. I was like, I don't know about 6, let's just play 7. But yeah, I like it a lot. And thanks again, Speedromizer, for having me. And thanks again, Tempest, thank you for submitting this. I didn't know it was, like, one of your first speedrun games. If I had done the same thing, you would be running Mega Man DOS. 'Cause that's my
that
first
could
game.
have been.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Funny story. Yeah, no, I'll gladly pick it up, whether it be for this or heck, even for a 12-hour challenge. Fair is fair to me. I'm glad you had a great time with this, though. Folks, definitely check out Brad. He's not just an awesome person, but an awesome gamer, and what the spin-offs he particularly mentioned, those being the Mega Man Power Battle and Mega Man 2 Power Fighters games. He's just a top-notch runner with this. This man has been just some of the finest folks I've seen with with those games as well. Like, I'm happy that I gave you your first proper Mega Man run, and hey, you've definitely convinced me to try and lower my time to hopefully match your PB, and when that happens, maybe one of these days we'll race this for an event. What do you say?
Wow, that's something. And I didn't know. I finally had a PB, or a sub 50 run, was I was trying to do, because the estimate for this is an hour, and I was trying to get at least sub 50 for that to be a safe, you know, marathon time. And then I posted a PB in the Speedromizer server of a 45:08. And I went, hey, here's how I'm doing with Mega Man 6. You know, and then I was like, you know, I saw your relay, but I knew you had a better time than the relay time.
Not that I remember. Life's funny with me sometimes. That's just how it is, folks. But yeah, no, thank you again to Speedromizer for giving this game to Brad. This was just a great show to watch, and yeah, no, thank you for some Mega Man, Brad.
All right, that's it from us. Kasaki, you take it away with our next run, and thanks again for having us.
Yeah, thank you both so much. And for the next run, we're basically just swapping the two of you around. So everyone stick around. You won't want to miss it.